Janice Dean is Fox News' senior meteorologist. She joins us tonight. Janice, thank you so much for coming on. We just talked about this the other night, about the former governor of New York, who is responsible, I think, pretty directly for the deaths of many, perhaps including your in-laws, and who was fired from his job for something, Al Capone and tax evasion, basically. He was never held to account for what he did. How did watching that affect you?
Well, it still affects me. I see these articles about him resigning in disgrace because I think he was going to be impeached because of sexual harassment. And although that was terrible, and I interviewed some of the women that were abused by him, the biggest risk that he presented in his government was putting sick patients into nursing homes.
Well, exactly.
He effectively, yes, I believe, helped kill thousands of elderly. And why aren't we talking about that, Tucker? You did. You were the first person I went to when I thought there was something wrong, and we broadcasted that on Fox. But the mainstream media were still hailing him, as a pandemic politician, maybe a president one day.
Yes. Well, that's absolutely right. And there was, at least in the short term, no upside to calling this out, as you found out. I mean, you didn't get rich by calling this guy out. But it inspired you, I think, to look at other people who have done similar things, and you wrote a book about it. Just give us an example of the people in this book.
Yeah, well, listen, this is not my comfort zone, going up against a powerful dynasty politician. And I wanted to find other people, just regular, everyday people, that decide to go up to something bigger than themselves to make the world a better place. I interviewed an FDNY firefighter whose brother, Ray Pfeiffer, went to D.C. on his dying days to fight for his fellow firefighters and first responders that were dying of 9/11 related illness. That's a story that I cover that, that took almost 20 years to make sure that fellow firefighters and first responders had the health care they deserved, as well as a mom whose daughter died after years and years of opioid abuse, and what she does these days trying to raise awareness and make sure that other parents don't go through the same thing. So these are the type of everyday heroes that really go up against something, modern day David and Goliath stories, and I'm so grateful to you and Fox and everyone who has helped me tell my story.
Well, amen. And most people just don't say anything. They're afraid to say anything. And so it's so inspiring to see people who say what they think is true regardless. And really glad you have a collection of those people. Janice Dean, our friend, great to see you tonight.
Thank you, my friend.